Hello, welcome to Game Rating Reviews E3 coverage. My name is Jean-Marc Lejean, and today I'm covering the Sony PlayStation event. That was today. It was some stuff that happened, so let's get into it. So it opens with Indian music, this really cool water falling or sand. Wasn't sure if it was real or not. It looked pretty real, the sand falling. But it was for a game that they showed that last year, and it's the kind of DLC pack for the new Uncharted. It is a standalone game, though, kind of like the infamous Second Son had its own standalone DLC. So, Uncharted Lost Legacy looked great, looked good. I have faith in the team to make a good game, so it looked great. Next, they showed some more DLC, and it was for Horizon Zero Dawn, Wild Winter, I think, or Frozen Wilds, and that also looked good. Haven't played Horizon yet, heard a ton of good things, and I'm glad that there's DLC coming out for it. Then a really long trailer for Days Gone just shows how good looking that game is, how well running that game is, and how interesting it is. I may not like the main character. I think he's dumb looking, and I don't know if I like a biker being a main character, but it seems like a really fun game and a really interesting one, and it'll be interesting to see how well it does when it comes out. And they showed Monster Hunter World. Never played Monster Hunter. Sure, a lot of people like overseas are hyped about this, but this isn't a huge American franchise. Hopefully they're trying to bring it into America with this game, and I know some people that play it, but not as much as overseas, so you know, we'll see what happens with that. Oh my gosh. Then they showed Shadow of the Colossus HD remake in PS4. It looked so good. Like, I owned it for PS2, I owned it for PS3, and I will definitely own it again for PS4. It looks super, super good. And I know it's not for everyone, not everyone's excited about it. I thought it looked amazing, and I can't wait to play it again. Then they show Marvel vs. Capcom, another trailer. It looks kind of silly to see these Capcom characters next to Marvel characters, but, you know, it looks like a fun game. Call of Duty World War II. It's a shooter, looks good, good story. It's a Call of Duty game. Then it was VR time. They started to show a list of their VR titles, and it looked pretty good, and I'm glad PlayStation showed a good chunk for VR. Usually they shy away from it, but they had a good number of games, and it looked really interesting. Number one, the biggest title, I wish they would have ended it with this, but they opened with Skyrim VR. Like, my dream come true. I'm sure it won't run 100% well, and they had a few finicky things with like using a hand for fire. But it looked fun. It's Skyrim in VR. What else could you ask for? It looks just fun. It'd be fun to try at least. Then Star Child, it was a 2D side-scrolling game, and I don't know how it's going to work in VR, but it looked interesting. The Impatient seemed like a horror game. It seemed very visceral, and you know, like it's gonna mess with your mind, or in the game and the character his mind, but that also looks very promising. Then they showed a Final Fantasy fishing game, a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game, a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game called Monster of the Deep. They really think people are gonna buy a Final Fantasy 15 fishing game. Maybe Nick Gidry will. I don't know anyone else that will. For collectors, they might want to swoop that up, because I don't know anyone. Like, there were people in the audience laughing when they showed this, because it's silly. They're being silly with this one. That's silly. Then Bravo Team, which looked like Time Crisis in VR. It looked fun, though. You get to shoot things in VR. Isn't that what you always wanted? And then a little game called Moss, where you help a little mouse. My girlfriend got excited about that one. You help a little mouse around as a giant or something. Girlfriend got real excited about that. And that was the VR slate. That was what happened in VR, and then they're like, here's a PlayStation to show you that we're focusing on PlayStation games again. And let's go into more PlayStation games. Go right into God of War. Just new story, him talking to his son about stuff, gameplay, and the cutscenes, and the story looks so good on this. I haven't even played the other ones. Not all of them. I played the first one, but this looks amazing. This looks like God of War 8 Last of Us and took its essence and is using that to have a good game. So I cannot wait for this game to come out. They showed another trailer for Detroit Become Human. Look cool. This is the second E3 in a row, just like God of War, just like Uncharted, Lost Legacy, that we see this. And it's out. It has a really good trailer, and I'm really interested in it. Still no release date. Still don't know when it's coming out. It's very upsetting. It's, and maybe because I want it to be good. Their last game, it was critically mixed, and so I'm hoping their next game, this one, Detroit Become Human, is good because it looks really good, and I want it to come out. Then they got a release date for Destiny 2, September 6th. So it'll actually look good. Awesome story mode. They have a demo of the story mode out now, so that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna do it. I might get into Destiny. I'm surprised I didn't get into Destiny 1. Just I love Bungie so much, but yeah, I might wait to see what people think of this one. And then they ended the show with Spider-Man. Oh boy, does Spider-Man look good. My only problem is, other than them, showing it last year, is a lot of QuickTime events. In saying that, seeing Spider-Man run up a wall is super cool, and seeing Spider-Man use his webbing to get things in QuickTime is cool. It's just, I thought we were like moving away from QuickTime events, and this was QuickTime events heavy, like press X and you will do a move, instead of you using skill to do a move, like, you're pressing the X and then a lot of trigger buttons. But I mean, it looked fun. I have nothing against QuickTime events, really. I'm sure it makes the cutscenes seem more dynamic and fun, but I hope that it's not the whole game, and I'm sure it's not. And watching Spider-Man traverse the city looked like you had to connect to buildings, which is okay. I mean, it's more realistic that way, but I want to be able to just web sling everywhere throughout the city, not just be stuck from building to building to building. But these poor core elements of him running on the side of the building and like turning on the building, it was really cool. The traversal looks great. Spider-Man looks great. His suit looks awesome. And then they revealed at the end that Miles Morales is in this game. So that's great. Miles Morales is the kind of new Spider-Man they have out now. And I like him. I think he's fun. He's bringing back fun to Spider-Man. In the comics, at least, if you don't know who that is. So, yes, PlayStation. It was fun from start to finish. It was the first E3 conference this year that I was engaged the entire time, except for maybe when, the head of Sony came out. He came out twice, but it was short. He was like, "Hey guys, thumbs up, I'm out," and now it's it. And it was fine. It was like boom, boom, boom. Let me show you games. The year before, he came out once, and then it was just games nonstop. So this was interesting. I love that PlayStation has showmanship with their E3 conference. That they're doing new and interesting things, even with games that they've showed before. So it was definitely the most interesting press conference that I've seen. And it was very exciting. It was exciting from beginning to end. It was exciting to see them pay attention to VR, and it was exciting for them to show love to their, I guess, DLC that's coming out and games that are coming out. So that's great. So where do I rate this? Ooh, that's hard. It's not a perfect 10. It was not a perfect thing because, like I said, they reused the reveals and there wasn't a lot of new stuff there, and I wish that there was. So I can't give it a 10, and I can't give it a 9 either. But it showed in a more interesting way than Xbox did. When I was on Xbox, I was so tired I wanted to go to sleep. And I'm up at the same time now as I was at Xbox, and I'm more awake. I'm more energized. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I think it definitely deserves that. It's It's not a 9. Some people might rate it higher, but realistically, I mean, Spider-Man was good, but I saw Spider-Man last year, and God of War was good, but I saw God of War last year. You know, nothing was new and fresh. Shadow of the Colossus, it was great to see Shadow of the Colossus. That game already came out, so there wasn't a lot of new stuff. There was in VR, but there wasn't a lot of new games that were coming out, so that's why it didn't get as high as it did. PlayStation kind of, you know, showed all their cards last year, and are kind of like reusing them with a new coat and hope you don't notice it's the same card. But yeah, so still a good conference. Even with those negatives, it's still one of the best conferences this year. It was still one of the most exciting conferences this year. And man, I wish other companies would look at what PlayStation did and kind of do something similar, especially Xbox. Xbox is just like, here's all this information, here's all this stuff, and you're just like, ugh, and it was cool. Like, I think Xbox could have won because they talked about the original Xbox backwards compatibility. Like, they had a lot of cool stuff to show, and I think they just would have made it a little bit more stylized, a little bit more fun, a little bit more condensed. Xbox could have been way better than PlayStation, and they had better announcements. I just think PlayStation did it better. So, you know, that's what I think. Stay tuned. We have one more conference left, Nintendo, and that should be interesting. Will Nintendo screw up again? Probably. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see, and please stay tuned for more E3. One more conference to go in this long journey that has been E3 2017.